So please only unmute yourself when you're speaking and kindly switch on the video all times to support to show support to the speakers. Group photo will be taken during the break time, so hope everyone could open your cameras. And with that, I would like to pass the stage to our presiding officer to present the opening speech. Over to you, Joshua.
Thank you, Jane. Good evening to everyone, fellow Toastmasters and guests. First, I would like to invite a few external role players to introduce themselves. We have Toastmasters Brian from Cyberstars Toastmasters Club and Master Jaya Toastmasters Club. Brian, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Brian Chan. I'm the current District Club Extension Chair for District 102, and I have been a Toastmaster for close to 6 years. Pleasure meeting every single one of you, and I can't wait for an exciting meeting for today. Back to you.
Thank you, Brian. Our next role player is Chester from Extol Toastmasters Club. Chester, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Toastmaster Joshua. Hi everyone, I'm Chester from Extol Toastmasters Club, currently serving as the Area C3 Director, and it's my pleasure to be the General Evaluator for tonight. Thank you, back to you.
Thank you, Chester. I would also like to invite Nazirah from ASAA Toastmasters Club to introduce herself. Nazirah.
Hello everyone, my name is Nazirah. I'm the Vice President of Education from ASAA Toastmasters Club. I'm happy to be here today as the contact. Back to you.
Thank you, Nazirah. I would also like to invite Wallace from Uni Razak to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Wallace and I'm not in Uni Razak anymore, but I'm actually now in Passion ESG Integration Toastmaster Club. So I today helping as an evaluator. Back to you.
Thank you, Wallace. I would also like to invite Jun Hong from CBRE Toastmasters Club to introduce himself.
Thank you, Joshua. Hi, everyone. I'm Jun Hong. Currently still a CBRE member, soon a MISA member because CBRE is actually closing down. And I'm happy to be back in UM for the first time of this year. Now back to you, Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Jun Hong. And last but not least, I would like to invite our Area W1 Director, Yasmine, to introduce herself.
Thank you, Joshua. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yasmine from MISA Toastmasters Club. Just like Nazirah and Jun Hong, we're going to be in the same club for Jun Hong. And I've been a Toastmaster for about 3 years now and currently serving as the Area W1 Director. Back to you.
Thank you, Yasmine. Secondly, I would also like to congratulate our contestants yesterday for their area contest. The efforts that they put in their speech was so good that you really make UMTMC proud. Congratulations to all the contestants for their efforts. Tonight's meeting, instead of having a table topic, we will have an open evaluation session where members will be able to evaluate our test speaker. As quoted by Ken Blanchard, feedback is the breakfast for champions. I have 2 advice. The first one goes to those who are new to evaluation. It may seem daunting at first to do evaluation, but when you give it a try, it will feel as though you're commenting on a movie that you just watched from the cinema. My second advice is to those who have experience with evaluation. Tonight, you may want to challenge yourself in giving an effective evaluation and to leave a impact on the test speaker so that we may see incremental changes in their future speeches, and also to improve your evaluation skills. With that, I shall now call this meeting to order. And our first role player for tonight is the Toastmasters of the evening, hosted none other than our club's VPE, Meng. Meng, over to you.
Hi everyone, can you guys hear me? Can everyone hear me over here?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great. So welcome to our meeting, our first unusual meeting of this year, which is where we have an open evaluation session in place of the typical table topic session. So what is open evaluation session is, I think I will let our open session master, Zijun, to introduce about it, to give a briefing about this later. So before we start, we would like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank everyone on behalf of UMPMC for joining us in this meeting. So let's go through a brief history of Toastmasters, shall we? So who's the handsome guy over here? His name is Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. He is the founder of Toastmasters Club, and he founded it on October 22nd, 1924, which is, I would say, is between World War I and World War II. And why he founded this is quite simple, because before I answer, will anyone want to try to answer this question? Why he founded Toastmaster in the first place?
You mean?
Yes.
Because guys are very shy to talk.
Yes, guys are very shy to talk. So back then, when he was working as a member of YMCA in Santa Ana, California, so YMCA stands for Young Men Christian Association. So it's young men. So guys are so shy to talk, and you say, okay, let's educate them by making sure they can communicate well, educate them to communicate well, and that's where the Toastmaster started. Toast as in cheers, the toast. So what does Toastmaster do? What do we do as a Toastmaster? So we learn how to speak. We also learn how to conduct meetings. We also learn how to plan programs and work as a member of society by working in communities. Next. So what we have achieved so far as of 2023. So it's a worldwide network of club and serve more than 282,000 members in 144 countries. That is goodness. Even countries like China also have more than 500 clubs. Wow, I'm shocked myself. That's quite good. And including India and all the developing countries, which is quite a good feat. So it also help everyone build up confidence and competence in communication, leadership, and event planning. A quick trivia here. Do you know some of the leaders in the Caribbean islands are actually Toastmasters themselves? See how to be a leader. Even though it's a small island country, they are also benefited from being a Toastmasters, and they help to lead the country as a whole. This is quite interesting fact here. So let us talk about our history as Toastmasters Club. So first thing first will be, it started from Chitra, which is the Center of Industrial Training and Relations. So what Dr. Ross Medley says that, okay, he wants to found Toastmaster because he wants to make people less shy to talk. Chitra's job is to make sure people get employed and work, including me. Okay, that's good. So this is why Toastmaster, because they want us to improve our speaking skills. This is very important here. And it started by Professor Mahoraini, which is a chairperson of Chitra, and she started the ball rolling. So the first club gathering, so I'd like to thank especially my ASAA Toastmasters Club for coming here. They are one of the few clubs, including Mid Valley Toastmasters Club, who helped us to conduct the first demo meeting since inception. As for the first year TNC meeting, it was first the club was officially registered on 18th April 2007. So speaking of April, we're going to have an anniversary soon. Yes, it's about less than 2 months away. Wow, that's quite fast. So we had our first meeting at the day one Persidangan, Faculty of Language and Linguistics in the year of 2007. Okay, that concludes our brief history of Toastmaster International and UNTMC. So the flow is a bit different. So as you guys heard around, we start by having open evaluation first, where members and guests will observe the test speech, observe by listening, looking, feeling the speech, and make a 2 to 3 minute evaluation speech. So it's open for everyone here. Prepared speech. Members present prepared speeches with specific objective after the break. And lastly, that will be the fun part, evaluation. So every speaker, including those speakers who participated in open evaluation, will be evaluated by experienced Toastmaster around here. Next, the role players. So I would like to call the first in the list, our grammarian Yasmine from ASAA Toastmaster Club, to introduce her role. Yasmine, the floor is yours.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. So for today's meeting, the word of the day is incremental, which means happening gradually in a series of small amounts. For example, how to use this word? Most research proceeds by small incremental advances. At the end of the meeting, I will present my report. Back to you, Toastmaster Yong.
Thank you, Yasmine, for describing her role perfectly today. So Yasmine, just keep in mind that Joshua has used the word incremental while he was a presiding officer. And so why the word incremental is chosen is actually in the spirit of Toastmasters. We believe of building we believe everyone needs to start from somewhere, meaning that you all start with not able to speak to everyone in front of you, or having a stage fright, and slowly upon taking projects and taking various role-playing roles, we are more able to communicate well and also being a better public speaker ourselves. The next role player will be the R counter, and Nazirah is going to help us out to count the Rs and Rs. Nazirah, will you describe role to us?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Ming. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note the words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase, such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, and back to you, Ming.
Thank you so much, Nazirah, for describing her role effectively and without us and us. The next role player will be our timer, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, could you tell us what your role is?
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Meng. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. My name is Jeffrey, and I'm the timer for today's meeting. My role is to time the test speaker, the open evaluation speech speakers, formal speech speakers, as well as the evaluation speech speakers. I will alert each speaker of the time they have left using 3 colors, such as the green, yellow, and red, to denote the time they have left before wrapping up their speech. And at the end of the meeting, I will present my timer's report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Meng.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. And lastly, the one who's going to oversee us, the one who's going to evaluate the whole meeting itself. Chester Liam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Ming. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As the general evaluator, my role is divided into 3 parts. The first part is to introduce the evaluators to provide their feedback. Then second is to call upon my tag team, Timer, R Counter, and Grammarian for their respective reports. And finally, I shall give my general evaluation of the overall meeting and look forward to enjoy the incremental fun learning experience tonight. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Chester Liam, and using the word of the day as well. Okay, the next will be the session we are all waiting for, the open evaluation session. So before we start the open evaluation session, it's quite mouthful, sorry about that. I'd like to call upon our member, Zijun, who is also our area contest evaluation contest Toastmaster. That is quite interesting to do an open evaluation session herself. Zijun, the floor is yours.
All right. So thank you, Ming. Now, hi everyone. I'm Zijun. I will be the open evaluation master for today. So before that, let me introduce what is the evaluation. So evaluation is where speakers get the feedback and comments from the other club members. Apart from improving the speakers, giving constructive feedback is also what members are going to learn in the evaluation session. So for today, open evaluation session is conducted instead of the usual table topic session. So let our members got the chance to share their thoughts and their opinions or what feedbacks towards the speakers. So without any ado, let us welcome our test speaker of the day, which is Salah. Salah is completing his level 1 introduction to vocal variety and body language. So the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech. So now without further ado, let us welcome Salah with his speech, Combating Corruption Theories in a Teaching Mode. Combating Corruption Theories in a Teaching Mode. Salah, good luck.
Thank you so much. Am I audible? Okay, now I start my speech. Hi, good evening, all my students. Today I am your teacher actually for 5 to 7 minutes. I hope you all, my students, will enjoy today's lesson. So you all have to, first of all, you all have to listen me carefully because I am gonna ask random questions from all the participants. So all of you have to listen me carefully. This is a very crucial actually topic, and it will be incremental for your lives. So first of all, I want to start from my title. The title, actually, I should first share with you the PowerPoint slides. It will be beneficial for all you guys. Title is Combating Corruption. Can I ask what comes in your mind when you listen about the word corruption? Can anybody answer, please? My students. Can anybody answer what comes in your mind when you listen the word corruption?
Money. The government eat money.
Malaysian politicians.
Yes.
Something is destroyed from the core.
Okay, thank you so much for your answers. Actually, that's true. That is the specific kind of definition for the corruption. When we listen the corruption word, we think about financial type of corruptions like bribery and other malpractices. But generally, it is used for 6 to 7 types of corruptions like ecological corruptions, managerial corruptions, societal corruptions, organizational corruptions, etc., etc. So, but today, and my whole topic will cover the general and the broad meaning of corruption, not the specific meaning of corruption, which is used for financial bribery type of corruptions. Okay, so that should be firstly clear for all you guys. Secondly, there is the word theories. Theories, when we listen about theories, it covers the all kind of principles, laws, rules, which have been presented by different scholars, scientific scholars, academic scholars of each field. Can you tell me any kind of theories which you have learned in your high schools or undergrad? Can anybody tell me about any kind of theories? Theories of some scientists? Meng, Kang, can you?
Theory of physics, relativity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very famous. I think all of you know and understand now the theories. So theories are like Newton's famous theory of gravity. There are a lot of substantial theories in each kind of field. In social sciences, and especially in economic field, there are 6 kind of theories which which combat corruption, which are especially eliminating corruption. Today, we don't have that much time in this class. We are going to just analyze 2 special theories, which are very famous, which will pave the way, which will give you an idea actually to eliminate corruption. And in the end, I will ask your opinion also about these 2 theories, that which theory you are going to like. So now, second slide is about the first theory of corruption, of combating corruption, which is called bad apple theories. As you see in the picture, there is one bad apple which is affecting all its remaining or neighboring apples slowly and gradually. Theorists of this theory claim and proclaim that this theory means that all those people which are involved in corrupt practices, those should be eliminated, those should be fined, or should be given a severe kind of punishments. Then the corruption will be eliminated. This is the major, actually the primary claim of these theorists. Okay, but second theory, we have bad barrel theories. Okay, can you see these barrels in the picture? Anyone can tell me, can anyone tell me about what you know about this kind of barrel?
Wine.
Anyone knows? Wine, wow. Who was the student?
Me.
Who answered? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
nice.
your open evaluation master.
Okay, thank you, Sujan. Yeah, these are the barrels of wine. But what the theorists actually claim here, that when, can you see these barrels have actually taken fungus? These barrels have started taking fungus, and it will, slowly and gradually will actually harm or affect whole the, wine inside the barrel. So the theorists of this theory believe that actually individuals are not responsible for the corruption or malpractices or misconducts, but the society, organization, culture of any country is the responsible, is the actual, the element of the corruption, of all kind of malpractices. So they think that there should be an body, accountable body or auditable body, which should monitor all these organizations, societies, cultures yearly or monthly basis, and they should give some advices to clean the society from corrupt individuals. Like same as we can see that these barrels, if these are cleaned on time, these barrels will not get fungus. So same as the society should be cleaned, society, the values of the society, the principles or laws or rules of the society should be changed or modified, not the individuals. So these were 2 important, theories against corruption. There are 4 more, but we don't have enough time for today's class. So I'm going to conclude today's class on the note that if we are going to punish the individuals, that is one theorists proclaim, but the others claim that we should just change or modify the laws or rules of a society that will actually pave the way for elimination of corruption. So I hope all of you guys have understood my lesson, my lecture of today, and I believe all of you will have a beneficial or informative type of lesson for today. So any of you, if you have guys question, you can ask me. My students, can you may ask if we have time. I don't know, actually I can't see a screen. Do we have time?
I think we lack of time for the evaluators.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my students, for giving me your time. Now stage is back to you, Ms. Sujan. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Salah, for the interesting session. So now let's start with our open evaluation session. May I have a first volunteer?
Can I go first?
All right. So for each evaluator, your speech is 2 to 3 minutes. So the green for 2 minutes, yellow for 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and red for 3 minutes. Yeah. So pass the floor to you, Kang.
All right, thank you so much, Jun. And thank you so much, teacher Salah, for giving me such a provoking, different kind of lessons that I've never learned this in my life. Bad apples versus the bad barriers. Right. First of all, very interesting topic, and I hope I have a teacher like you who asks questions like all the time. And notice that when you ask questions, you expected to receive no responses. You got that idea, but then you actively like point out to the person that you know, like me, to answer your questions, which is a very good way to remove and to eliminate that awkwardness and to make sure that you have an answer from the audience. Now, that's the first thing that I like. And the second thing is in terms of presentations, I noticed that your presentation is kind of simpler, not that wordy compared to lecture notes. And I like that because a simple presentation with image allows us to have room for imaginations, not just following along the lectures. We actually have time to think about the two theories that you talk about. Now, of course, we have rooms of improvements, right? First of all, I feel like the presentation is kind of short. Like this is an informational speech. Although you do want us to have the rooms for our imaginations, I would expect to have more things, instead of 4 slides. Like, for example, the comparison between bad apples and bad barriers theories in the table form. Like, for example, the statistical results. Is there any proven theory that says which method is better or which one is worse? Is there any real life history or example that shows someone has used this method to the country? And what happened to the country currently? I'm curious to know a lot of things. Of course, I think that you have time for more things instead of just 4 slides. Again, giving us options to imagine is very good. I never see this in my learning life. It's like, oh my God, all this while I'm receiving, and I have actually the chance to do active thinking. I always do active thinking in exam only, not in class. But yeah, I like the way you give us rooms for active thinking. Again, I would expect for more, right? I would say for more as an as an informational speech. Instead of motivational or inspirational, an informational speech makes me wanna get more information rather than being motivated. So I want more data. I expect more statistics. So that's my evaluation. Thank you so much. Back to Zijun.
All right, thank you for our first volunteer, Kang. So who will be the second one? See. Junho, you want to be the second?
Wow, suddenly, okay.
Okay. Thank you, Junho.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to say that your speech is actually very informational, and I would say that it enlightens me in terms of normal stuff. For example, bad apple theories. I did not expect it actually applied it into what do we call politics, I mean. So that was actually very inspiring to me personally, and I really enjoy that. For your speech, and I feel a lot of enthusiasm, and you're very eager to share to us, which I'm very impressed, because not a lot of people are very expressive when it comes to information sharing. So kudos, congratulations on achieving that. Only one area of improvement is that I would like to suggest that the speed, just like how Kang said just now, maybe the slides could give a bit more additional information. So the picture imagination in our brain can be clearer. So other than that, I like your energy. I like your enthusiasm and your speech structure. Only area of improvement is the information for the slides. One thing I would like to challenge is that since this speech is quite informational, I would not suggest to make it a classroom-like session, because it will consume a lot of time. So that would actually decrease your time to share more information. That's all for my evaluation. Back to you.
Thank you, Junho, for volunteering as the second open evaluation evaluator. Okay. So now I see. Who want be the third?
I want to be the third.
Wallace. All
Yes.
right. So pass the floor to you, Wallace.
All right, thank you so much. Hi, Salah. Thank you so much for your informative and interesting topic about the how to combat the corruption topic. I believe, firstly, what I like is your energy. You are energetic, and all of us here are very intrigued to listen more about your speech, about your sharing. And today your speech is about corruption. What I like is when you do about this, you did some good effort to show us a slide. And from the slide, you give us the imaginary for how to think and want us to have more point from that. And that's a good thing. And for the area of improvement, I would suggest, firstly, I noticed that when you elaborate your point from one point to another point, your transition or your pauses is not that. I could say that it's like a bullet train. It's like you're chasing for the class to finish all the syllabus, and then we are like, we need some time to digest your point and your information. So I would suggest if you have more time, have more pauses, and also instead of maybe like I would say that instead of many theories, I think this two theory is good, but you need to in depth to share us more relatable example, and then I would think that will be a good speech and very informative speech. So to conclude, what I like your speech is you are very informative, you are very energetic, and what you can improve on is your pauses. You will incorporate your pauses to make the audience easier to observe, absorb your information. And also, last but not least, is I hope that you can elaborate more on your point. I think two theory is good for your speech, and for evaluation it's just a subjective. So you may choose to take it or maybe not to take it. This is for your own convenience. And all in all, I really like your speech, and thank you so much. Back to you, Zizun.
Thank you, Wallace. Now I see a time 8:40. Still can invite one more volunteer. Itifa, one.
I don't think it's in.
Okay.
Jun, I would like to
Yeah.
try.
Yeah. All right. Pass the floor to you, Xing En.
Okay, thank you, Jun. Hi, everyone. And hi to Salah too for completing what a wonderful, inspirational and informational speech today. I really learned a lot about the corruption theories. For your speech, I have some points for you that I really like that you apply in your speech. For the first point is you actually included questions during your speech. You ask questions in order to engage with the audience, which I really like because this aims to grab the audience attention and will not make the speech very boring or dull to listen to. And it also makes sure that the audience actually listen what you are speaking and delivering to the audience. For point for improvement, I think that you can actually include more slides like describing the theories in depth, and also I would like to know some real life situations and examples that can be related to both theories so that we can actually remember, like after a few weeks or a few months, we experience some situations and then we can recall, oh, this is Salah's bad apple theory. And I also really like that you are very energetic throughout the speech. I can see that your body language and hand gestures throughout the speech. I can see that you have a very deep interest in this topic. So that's all for me. I'll pass the floor back to Jijun.
Yeah. Thank you, Xing En. So I think it can be one more. If one. Yeah, our second place for the evaluation contest. Joshua?
Sure, I can.
All right. Pass the floor to you, Joshua.
Thank you, Zijun. To Teacher Salah, I enjoy your lesson tonight. Firstly, you have a good interaction with the audiences. But what's more important is your enthusiasm that managed to attract us and to catch our attention by asking us, what do you guys know about corruption? What is the first thing that comes into our mind? And instantly, everyone answer you like a school of fish. The second point that I enjoy is that in your speech, you actually use the space around you efficiently by using your hand gestures, using your point, telling us the points. For example, in the bad barrel in the corruption theories, you listed down to us maybe social corruption, maybe it's a political corruption. That's a good use of hand gestures. In terms of improvement, I have 3 for you. The first one is you can perhaps utilize your PowerPoint to the fullest. If I noticed that from your PowerPoint, it looks simple and easy to follow. However, perhaps when you want to do a conclusion, you can list down the summary of the points that you have told us just now in your speech, so that you can imprint inside our minds of what you've just said, and we can take it home as a message. The second thing is that since your speech is an informational one, perhaps slowing down your pacing can allow us to slowly digest the theories that you've provided to us. For example, after you have discussed with us about the corruption, you can do it like this. So this is what everyone's opinion on corruption. And now I would like to introduce the 2 theories that I found out in the internet, which is bad apple theories and bad barrel theories. And then from there, you continue on moving slowly and steadily so that we can capture every single tiny detail of information in your speech. The third one is perhaps when you can share your slide first, then only present your speech so that you don't have to worry about the timer calculating your time when you are preparing the slides. So overall, good interaction with the audience, good use of your space and the hand gestures. For improvements, you can utilize your PowerPoint to the fullest and slow down your pacing when you're giving an informational speech. I believe that with as a student's feedback, you may become a much more better presenter in the future. Back to you, Toastmaster.
All right. That's time for us to conclude about the open evaluation session. So it's time for voting for the best speaker. Thank you everyone for the vote, and I shall conclude this open evaluation session. Thank you everyone for the participation. Hope you all have fun with it. So I shall now pass the stage to our Toastmaster of Evening, Ming.
Thank you, Jujun, for the interesting open evaluation session. And also thank you to Salah, who volunteered himself as a test speaker. So now, alas, it's the break time. But before we start our break time, let us take our group photo, shall we? So, Yi-Chin, are you okay from your end?
Yes, I can.
Ming Kang, what is this? Your lucky animal.
Might be familiar to someone.
Someone, eh? Significant other, I presume.
No lah, significant club.
Significant club, okay.
Club start with M, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. In 3 seconds, yeah. 1, 2, 3, now.
Hello, I hope you guys have a very good 5-minute break by doing whatever business back there. So let us resume the second half of this meeting. So by the request of our evaluator, Brian Chan. So Brian Chan like to make the evaluation speech on, like to make an evaluation on our open evaluation speakers. Brian Chan, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much to our Toastmaster of the evening, Ming. Hi everyone, my name is Brian here from Cyberstar Toastmasters Club, and here is my evaluation, my humble evaluation to every single one of you. When it comes to an evaluation, these are a few things that we have to look at. In every evaluation, we always provide our personal opinion. Secondly, it's some of the things that I hope every one of you could structure your evaluation in such a way. When we are providing evaluation, the first thing that we always look at is to create that engagement in the very beginning by capturing them with questions. Grabbing their attention by using questions relate to the speaker once again is one way for you to build that trust and connection in the very beginning. Secondly, use the sandwich method for you to provide your feedback to the audience. The sandwich method means by raising up some of the things that they have done well or the strength that they have done well, followed by the room of improvement that will be able to improve in the near future. And last but not least is to have a summation that provides a motivational as well as uplifting moment for the speaker to deliver their future speeches. Therefore, my evaluation will be based on the following criteria. For our first speaker, we will have Ming Kang. Ming Kang, one of the things that I like when it comes to your evaluation, you provide us relativity, trust, and connection. 3 things in the very beginning that you have done very well when it comes to your evaluation. And here is my humble suggestion when it comes to your evaluation itself. Pacing. Pacing is extremely important when it comes to evaluation by having the proper vocal variety. You were trying to ask the speaker to speak more. However, when you want the speaker to speak more, you didn't exaggerate the word a little bit more. Attract that person's attention by just emphasizing the word speak more about providing examples and story so that you will be able to improve in which point. Try to emphasize in a certain word and use a vocal variety
and it will make a tremendous impact in your evaluation. Very good job on that, Ming. Secondly, we have Junhong. Junhong, he has done a very good job by relating with the audience, by telling the speaker he has been speaking it in a very informative language. And he also provided some suggestion. Maybe the way he teach may not be the best way, but by sharing us with stories as example, that could be a much more better one. And here is a little suggestion for you, Junhong. When a time when you were trying to end your speech, ending your speech itself is very important to end it with an How do you provide that to the audience? Is make it uplifting and motivating. Try to end your evaluation by telling them something like this. My fellow speaker or my Mr. Speaker here. And here I would like to end your speech and by providing you the following conclusion. I would like you to improve by relating with the audience by using a much more simple method in providing feedback and in providing some information to your speaker. Just by merely using stories, because by using stories itself, it can be a much more easier way for you to sell it. You know why is that? Because facts tell, story sells. And this is how we will be able to motivate and inspire that person even more through stories. All right, very good job on that, Junhong. Third speaker we have is Wallace. Wallace, one thing that I noticed that you have done very differently as compared to any other evaluator is you have shown us a way on how the speakers perform through their energy and how they utilize their energy throughout the presentation itself. There's a very good way for you to emphasize that in the very beginning. And here I would like you to improve on the near future itself, Wallace. When you were asking people to provide examples or even suggestions, try to emphasize it in a little bit detail. I will call it specification of details. What are the things that the speaker would have to say in order for that person to have a better picture or image in their presentation? Perhaps you could say something like this. For example, you share with us about the bad apple theory. However, what does a best society really means? Does it mean by a person who is doing money laundering, utilizing people's money, or earning money from terrorism or even from all those kind of illegal activity? Is it this kind of things that they have been doing, that utilizing those money and they are earning those kind of money, they are finding ways on how to do money laundering? Is that the best society that you are looking for? If that is the kind of best society that you are looking for, that might not be a very bright future that we might be having for our country in the near future. Provide a little bit detail, give a little bit concrete example, a substance in it, and by doing so, I believe that evaluation of yours could be a much more precise one. Very good job, Wallace. And now for our fourth evaluator, Xing En. Xing En, one of the feedback that you has provided for your speaker is providing real life example. I could totally relate on you on that because I have the same thought where I wanted to provide my evaluation for the speaker. And you have also told us that somehow maybe the speaker could provide us more slides. Here, I have a little bit of a counterintuitive, and I had a little different thoughts when it comes to providing more slides. Because presentation itself, the less is more. And when you are suggesting people to provide more slides, you should support it with a much more clearer direction, with a much more better, tell us that how are you supposed to use slides to emphasize the point, to tell the strength of the presentation. Give us more reason why you should be using more slides. Because personally, when it comes to presenting using a slide, I would strongly suggest people to use pictures, more pictures, less word. Because pictures will paint 1,000 words, I would strongly suggest people to use pictures when it comes to presentation in order to somehow help them in their presentation. And Xing En, just a little bit of my suggestion. Hopefully you will be able to provide a much more concrete examples to support the point that you are trying to provide for your speaker. And I believe you will be able to do very well in the future. Well done, Xing En. And for our final speaker evaluator, we have Joshua. Joshua, out of all the evaluators, I can see you have done a very good job when it comes to your evaluation. You have completed the 3 things that I would always ask from my evaluator. The first thing that I would like to give you a praise is what comes to your engagement in the very beginning. Who could have ever thought that you would throw a sentence such as, you have made us capture the audience attention just as if like we are a school of fish. This is a very good way for us to engage with the audience by giving us certain things, a certain analogy or metaphor that will be able to emphasize on your points. And here is a little bit of my suggestion when it comes to your improvement. When you were suggesting people on how are you supposed to use your hand gesture, certain part of the examples or the way you demonstrated it has been cut off throughout your screen. This is something when it comes to virtual presentation, where you may not be able to observe when you are in front of the screen, because when you were doing hand gesture, whether you are using it appropriately to point it to the left or right, try to observe it in front of the screen if the speaker are able to observe what you are demonstrating in front of them. And overall, Joshua, you have done a very good job. Just try to be more aware on what kind of display of images of what examples they are providing for the audience. By doing so, I believe you will be able to align your voice along with your body language to make it a much more complete speech. Overall, everyone has done a tremendous job when it comes to your evaluation. And here's a little suggestion when it comes to open evaluation. You may try your very best to not repeat what the previous speaker have told you. If possible, use new points, be creative, and I believe by doing so, you are unique in your own way. Back to you, Mr. TME.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Harry. Thank you so much, Brian, for a very comprehensive evaluation for our open evaluation speakers. And as for all the open evaluation speakers who volunteer themselves to speak up or being volunteered by Jun to stand up to have a speech, thank you so much for participating. I hope you guys have learned a lot from this session, which I hope everyone would. Now, let's go for the next. Let us start with the second phase of our meeting, shall we? That will be the, what is that? That will be the project speeches. Yes, I can hear Ming Kang so excited right now. That's good. That's good. Coming from our champion speaker, that is good. That is good. Now, so we're going to start with. So let's give a quick briefing on what is Toastmaster Pathway Education Program is. There are 11 pathways, including presentation mastery, innovative planning. The path I'm taking right now is effective coaching, and so much more. And there are 5 core competencies and 5 levels. So what are these 5 core competencies? They are public speaking skills, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management skills, and also lastly, for all 11 paths, confidence. That's the most important thing when you join Toastmaster. What we want to take away from here, public speaking skills, and also our confidence in speaking and talking to people, not shy anymore. Yes. So let's start with our first speaker, Jane. She's going to do her level 1. Why this is different? Okay, sorry. Okay. This Yichin, she's doing her level 1 introduction to vocal variety and body language. The purpose of this project is for the member to, okay, sorry. Before we let her start presenting her speech, I'd like to call upon her evaluator, Nicholas, to read out the project's purpose, the project statement of this of her speech. Nicholas, the floor is yours.
Okay, for the project statement, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. So just a fun fact for everyone around here, Nicholas actually is doing an evaluation and feedback under the evaluator's speech. So I'd like to call upon his evaluator, Xing En, to read out the project statement of his speech. Xing En, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Meng. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. And it is also for the member to deliver constructive feedback on another member's presentation.
Thank you so much, Xing En. So, Jane, are you ready? Is everything ready?
Am I audible?
Just make sure you're audible, and if you'd like to share the slides now, you may.
I'm using a different device to for camera and
everything's okay?
I'll
Good.
have the spotlight your video. Right. Okay, done.
Okay, good. Well done. So, Jane, the stage is yours.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Looking at my title, Prosperity and Tradition, a reflection on cultural costumes, what would you think of it? Anyone?
About the lousy tradition. Langgaran.
Yes, you're somehow right. But here I am today, as I'm very delighted to share my personal experience and reflections on one of the most significant celebrations in the Chinese culture, which is the Lunar New Year, which is also known as the Chinese New Year. So for as long as I can remember, CNY has bring great excitement and anticipation for me. It is a time for my friends and family for an annual reunion that we will gather at my papa's house, which is my grandma's, on CNY Eve for a reunion lunch. Yes, lunch. However, one thing I don't really like about it would just be they will always start gossip on us, the youngsters. Okay lah. Big L you? You got boyfriend now, ma? And I would be like, no. Hey, I thought you got into uni now. Why you don't go and get one? Should be many choices one lah. Then I would be like, okay, I tried. And my another aunt would then ask, how you got into uni now? So big now. You get into I will try to lowering down myself. UM, and then wow, UM okay. And this scenario is repeating everywhere that I go. And what I could do is I would like try to lowering down myself on the table and trying to squeeze myself about them, hoping them to move on to their another target. Speaking of tradition, another thing that favors me the most will be exchanging the red packet, which is also known as Yang Pao. Before exchanging that, I will always help the elderly to pack the red packets. Speaking of packing the red packets, I will always be my papa's first choice. One year, I was too busy with my studies as the finals is around the corner, so I don't really have the time to help my papa to pack the red packets. End up, my two younger brothers and my other cousins are the ones that helping her to do so. However, bad thing happens. On the next day, why my angpao? No money inside one. Since then, my papa will not trust any others cousins other than me. So no matter how busy I am, I will always try to squeeze out my time to help my purpose to do this yearly course. Growing up, another one of my favorite part of Chinese New Year was playing with these sparklers and the other small fireworks. The best one and the only one that I would choose would be the fairy sticks. The ones that will produce a shower of sparkles for several seconds and very, very pretty one. And the best thing of it is I will always take 2 sticks and take pictures. And my other cousins will be like, yeah, every year take the same picture. Not sian one, man. And I'll be like, no, this is my yearly tradition. The main reason I only use it, I only play it is because I don't dare to play the others one. There's one bad history that one of my cousins, he played the little firecrackers, the small one, and then with biba, and it is very dangerous. Then on that year, he hurt himself. Actually, every year there are my cousins hurting themselves playing fireworks, but they still dare to play it. So I also don't know why, but they still play it. Then I will just standing at the side and see them. Nice one. You play? I see. Good. Chinese New Year is the time of reflection and introspection. It's a time for us to take stock of the past year and make resolutions for the new year. As we enter the new year, it is important to remember that every year is an incremental step forward in our lives. Each new year brings new opportunities, challenges, and a chance for us to have a fresh start ahead. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the evening, Meng.
Thank you so much for sharing your interesting thought on your experience throughout the Chinese New Year. I also being bombarded by why you have not find any girlfriend yet. Yeah, I'm 28. I'm almost 28 years old. Of course, the pressure is even worse. And now I'd like to call upon our next speaker, which is our beloved. Wait, hold on. I need to share the screen right now. Are you guys able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Back a slide, sir. Okay, so it's going to do level 4 question and answer sessions. First, I'd like to call upon his evaluator, Wallace Teo, to read out the project purpose, the project statement of his speech. Wallace, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much, our Toastmasters, Ming. Hi, Kang. This is your project statement. The purpose of this project is for you to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer section. The purpose of this speech is for you to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized Q&A section. You are responsible for managing the time, so there's an adequate opportunity for both. So back to you, Toastmasters, Ming.
Okay, thank you so much, Wallace, Toastmaster Wallace, for reading out the project statement. Now, before I let him start presenting his speech, I'd like to remind the timer, Jeffrey, that his speech will be from 15 minutes to 20 minutes long. And hence the lighting will be as follows. Green at the 15-minute mark, 15-minute green. So Jeffrey, could you show us the green color? Are you okay? Okay. Yellow at the 17-minute mark and red at the 19-minute mark. Okay, thank you so much. So Ming, are you ready? Make sure you're audible and everything.
No.
No, you're not ready.
Okay, I
Oh
have
dear.
to be ready.
Yes, the champions must be ready, must feel ready.
No.
Okay. I'd like to read out the title of his speech, The Story of Our Home, Milky Way. So Ming Kang, if the floor is yours, you may start preparing the slides right now.
Okay, I want to share my screen. Give me a moment.
Yes. Okay.
I want to see if you guys can see my screen right now.
Yeah, can see.
Yes, can see.
I want to ask if you guys see any other thing.
No. No.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Mr. Ming. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ming Kang. I'm a physics undergrad student at University Malaya. So there's a reason why I want to talk about this topic, Milky Way, because I'm doing my project in astronomy. Before this, here is how you guys gonna ask questions, right? There are two ways you can ask questions. The first one is you can voice out, you can unmute yourself after my speech. Right? After my speech, you can voice out and ask questions. But if you're too eager to ask questions during my speech, during my presentations, you can always do in the chat room. Okay, the chat box, I'm always monitoring the chat room. The chat is right beside me. Okay. I hope you guys are ready for the extremely excited astronomy journey. And let me go back to the title. The Story of Our Home, Milky Way. This photo is actually taken, the background photo is actually taken by a local astrophotographer, Chin Kok Chung, in Sabah. Right, we can see Milky Way in Sabah. Every time I see this photo, I feel a bit emotional because not just Milky Way, that's normal, but there's a lady pointing at the Milky Way. It means something. Like, could be mean like we're really small. So I feel like I have mixed feeling every time I see this photo. It's kind of emotional. Sometimes I want to cry just because of seeing this. Right, let's go. First of all, as you guys asked, like, what Milky Way? Actually, I want to ask why Milky Way? Why Milky Way is named as Milky Way? Why not the other name? So the story starts from this. Hey, a little bit creepy and scary things you see in the sky. If you had the chance to go rural area, not in KL, you will see something like this. That's Milky Way. So the ancient people relates this to, yes, Iktifa got milk. It looks like a milk, right? It looks like someone pouring milk throughout the sky from the top to the bottom. That's where the name Milky Way comes in. Milk, milky, along the way, Milky Way. So not only Milky Way, actually Milky Way is just one of the many millions of galaxies that we have observed throughout the century, right? There are like a lot of different shapes and different kinds of galaxies that we observe using state-of-the-art telescope. And like now I give you some of the examples. We have one of this, kind of boring, right? This is kind of interesting, it's colorful. This is kind of creepy. It doesn't look like a galaxy at all. It looks like something being spread. This looks like a Mexican head, a Mexican head type galaxy. And more creepy one, it's a galaxy as well, but it's a different kind of galaxy. All right. So next, I would like to talk about, now we have observed so many galaxies, different shapes and different kinds. A natural question that you want to ask is, what does the Milky Way look like? By the way, why Pluto is not a planet? I'm not going to answer this right now because we're focusing on the galaxy. Pluto is not a galaxy. right? So this is a natural question. How do we know the shape, the size of the Milky Way? It's challenging because we're actually sitting in the galaxy itself. It's like you are sitting in a room, perhaps doing Toastmaster virtual meeting, but at the same time, you wanna know, you wanna identify the shape of your house from the outside. So you might do a lot of guessing. Oh, the surrounding of my room is kind of square, so I will assume my house will be square as well. But in reality, that might not be the case, right? So how do we determine the shape of our home, the galaxy, the Milky Way? So we started getting astronomers started getting clue from the other galaxies, all the billions of galaxies that we observe, right? So having seen the different types of scary Mexican head galaxies, generally the astronomers classify into two types of galaxies: spiral galaxies that you see on the left, elliptical galaxy that you see on the right. Now I want all of you to type 1 if you think Milky Way looks like a spiral galaxy, or type 2 if you think that it looks like an elliptical galaxy. All right, everyone type 1. So let's focus on the spiral galaxy, since you guys are interested in spiral galaxy. I know elliptical galaxy looks kind of boring. Just look at the picture. Spiral, more beautiful, right? So in fact, spiral galaxy is kind of special. Not only that it's a galaxy, but it has got some different structures in it. It has got a bulge, right? A very bright center in the middle. We call it as bulge, galaxy bulge. And look at that. We have arms spread across the galaxy. We call it as the spiral arms. Spiral arms in a spiral galaxy. So could our galaxy be the spiral galaxy? Does it look like a spiral galaxy, elliptical galaxy, or none of the above? Right? Let's try to find out. So first of all, the first clue that we have is this: the Milky Way from our perspective. Now, if you see closely, you may see something different. Right, not only that it looks like the milk pouring down, but it has some shape into it. Look at this. Isn't it look like a bulge at the center? And the center is extremely bright compared to the other places. So that might be a spiral structures, right? A bulge. Where is this? I believe this is in Chile, because if I recognize this telescope is in Chile. Right, so a bulge that we've seen from our point of view. So our Milky Way could be a spiral galaxy, but that's not enough. Okay, I'm not satisfied with just using this to to make sure that the galaxy is a spiral. Although we found a center bulge, so astronomer has a very amazing and ambitious way. They want to map the galaxies, just like we map the world by exploring the continents. They want to map the galaxies by not going out from the Milky Way. First of all, we have again the bulge that we observe. So let's put the bulge at the right. Right, first clue. Second clue. Look at this. Now, astronomers have very special ways and quite accurate ways to identify the distance of stars from us. So by mapping we have like billions of stars. By mapping the distance of each star and the positions, we can do this. So all the red dots that you see are actually the positions of the stars and the map is related to us, right? And using the theories and all the observations we have for spiral galaxies, our astronomers are able to recover the photo back. And our Milky Way looks like this. So for those who type 1 just now, you're correct. Our Milky Way, it's a spiral galaxy, but with a lot of arms. Instead of 2 arms, it has 4 arms. So where do we situate it in our Milky Way? Again, using the distance, we can kind of approximate it, and we are actually at here, right in the middle, not too near to the bulge. and not too far from the edge, right? Okay, now we have understood the galaxy and our home, the Milky Way, as an overall. Let's talk about the history of Milky Way. Are we interested about how the house is built and when and why? So with this, I would like to show you, oh, Big Bang, interesting. Big Bang is the birth of the universe, but how about the Milky Way, right? So I'd like to show you a video. It's a simulations, incredible simulations from a supercomputer showing a Milky Way-like galaxy. We couldn't simulate Milky Way because it's within ourselves, but we can do similar thing. So as you can see, I want you enjoy and focus on this video. It starts as a point, but slowly all the gas coming in, spiral in a crater and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, right? It's now, if you observe on the upper right-hand side, you see two other galaxies, two other bright spots. They're actually being absorbed by Milky Way. Small galaxy get bullied by the big Milky Way to become an even bigger Milky Way. So I would say Milky Way is actually a cannibal in its formation. It's not actually that nice. It actually eats all the nearby smaller galaxies, dwarf galaxies, so you don't see it. Okay, so I don't want to play this long because it takes a long time. But as you can see, this is kind of the end products of the galaxy formation. See, there are another galaxies being sucked into the Milky Way and joined to form a bigger galaxy. All right. So this is the Milky Way today. Oops. Is it an error? You guys seeing anything? Might not be showing things.
No.
Oh.
Black color. Whole black screen.
Got it.
Okay, here we
Milky
go.
Way today.
So this is the Milky Way today. Notice that not just the Milky Way itself, but it has got a lot of companions, the babies of the Milky Way, that being sucked in during its formations. Like 10 of them, more than 10 of the smaller galaxies, we call it satellite galaxies revolving around the Milky Way. Is Milky Way dying? Asked by Tifa. Interesting question. We're gonna find out later, right? Don't spoiler. We're gonna talk about now the future of Milky Way. Having seen the formations, now I'm interested about the future of our home. Would it be destroyed? Would it get bigger? Or would it just stay like that? The hint is, it's not that good, right? The future of Milky Way is like a bit depressing. So you guys might guess, type in the chat box, what do you think the future of Milky Way will be? I'm gonna reveal the answer. This therapy. All right, let's find out. So before this, I'd like to introduce the Milky Way neighborhood. So not just Milky Way is not alone in the universe. It has some good friends and neighbors in between. A lot of neighbors actually, but the significant ones are the Milky Way, Andromeda Galaxy, and Triangulum Galaxy in the neighborhood. Right, it's quite near to the Milky Way. So I'd like to spend some time on our big brothers, our neighbors. First of all, the Andromeda galaxies. Actually, if you see carefully, let me play the video. The reason why it's called Andromeda Galaxy is because it's near to a constellation called Andromeda. So nothing special about the galaxy, just that it's near the Andromeda constellation. Again, the same thing goes to a Triangulum Galaxy. The galaxy is not triangular at all, but it's near to a constellation called Triangulum Constellation. So that's why the name comes in, Triangulum Galaxy. Okay. What do you think in the future? What do you think will happen to three of them? Eat by the other universe, disintegrate as the universe is expanding? No, the answer is they're gonna collide and they're gonna merge into one single big giant galaxy. Now there is a very good artist impressions on the internet. This is the galaxy. This is the sky that we'll see today. Have a nice Milky Way, the milk, and one small thing, Andromeda Galaxy. 2 billion years after, we see something like this. Scientists have calculated that Andromeda and Milky Way, they are moving closer to each other, but it takes a big time. It's like a long time, right? So this is 2 billion years after. 4 billion years after is 3.75 billion years after. It's kind of scary. It's really scary to see that Andromeda gets super big right now. And 4 billion years, the collision happens. And you'll see something like a stars and matters, gas scrapping around each other, and the collision just happens after 7 billion years. Now, this collision takes like 3 billion years. After 7 billion years, you see a boring thing. This is what I've shown you in the early example of the different type of galaxy. The elliptical galaxy, the boring thing that none of you voted for. Seems like the future of Milky Way is a boring galaxy. So the result of merging. I want to show you again a wonderful simulations. This is our Milky Way, right? And we have Andromeda at a proximity. It's very near to us, and a triangular galaxy. I look at just how they come closer to each other and merge. They're not gonna merge in a short time. It's gonna take a long time for them to merge and collide multiple times before they finally, as Jeffrey say, reunion. Oh, Meng say reunion. Yeah, it's kind of like a reunion. Right. So they merge into one galaxy, waiting for this triangular galaxy to merge again. Okay. So one natural question you're gonna ask is, actually, how do we know so much, even though we are just on Earth? Now, this I have to thank two of the main things in astronomy. The observations and the simulations really helps a lot, right? Helps a lot in this. That we are able to kind of assume things without having to see it during using simulations. In using observation, we can actually prove that. All right. So, this is a fun fact. I want to talk about this. Sometimes if you see astronomy news, you'll see a lot of cute acronyms. I would say, like, working in astronomy, I see a lot of bad acronyms, and I want to just show a few examples. Bistro. Okay, Bistro is a local food store. And it's named as one of the astronomy survey and observation. Alfalfa, right? Alfalfa, it's a supplement. If I check online, it's a supplement. It's a survey in the astronomy field. Malatang. Some of you might know what it is. It's a kind of Chinese food. Somehow it turns itself into a survey in astronomy. Bicep. If you do gym, you love bicep, but apparently astronomers, they like bicep too. So it's kind of funny to see all the cute acronyms happens in the astronomy. And if you notice carefully, they actually kind of try hard to do especially the Malatang case. If you see the acronym doesn't really make sense in terms of the full explanation, right? This is one thing I want to point out. All right, summary. Okay, here's my summary. First of all, astronomy, they like duck tests. If it looks like a duck, seems like a duck, and quacks like a duck, probably it's a duck. But we don't really see the duck, right? We just guess it might be a duck. So we do this all the time. They do this all the time. It all starts with gas gathering at a point, the formation, right? Milky Way is a cannibal. He likes to eat all the smaller galaxies to make it bigger. The future of Milky Way is not so good. A lot of collision happens and fears. And I would like to appreciate simulations and observations that relies on expensive telescope and expensive computing power to make this all happen. I want to end my presentation with a nice photo taken in Kedah by, again, one of the other astrophotographer in Malaysia, Muhammad Safwan. Thank you, Injil Safwan. Kind of emotional photo. Right, thank you so much. I want to answer questions right now. All right, let me see the time. I've got some time. Yellow. All right. So let's answer the first question. Is there large explosion when two galaxies merge? There's no explosion. In fact, the galaxy is so huge that some some part of galaxy might not be affected at all, right? Because the merging, the collision happens kind of in the middle of the galaxy. So probably their theories say that the place of our solar system, the Earth, might not be affected because we are not at the middle, right? We are quite at the outside area. Okay, so I hope that answers your questions. Oh, great. I have 1 minute. Anyone want to do a voice questions? Feel free to voice out.
Hi, Ming Kang. I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So when two galaxies collide, right? And you have said earlier that something will happen towards the center of the galaxy of these two galaxies when they're merging and colliding. So would you mind explaining how it really works exactly?
Oh, so if you see these simulations, the two galaxies are actually colliding heads on, right? Heads on instead of so two of the cores, the center of galaxy actually they are, see, two of the core are exactly colliding with each other. They are not colliding at the side, but they are at the center. Because the center is the massive, right? If you have the massive at the center, then quite naturally the massive will come into together, just like the gravity, just like how you draw onto the Earth's surface. Like, I hope the answers the question. It's not really that detailed, but I don't have much time.
Okay,
So
okay. Thank you so much.
Basically, it's because of the gravitational force between two galaxies so huge. So they always collide at the center.
I heard the center of every galaxy is a supermassive black hole. Is that true?
Most of them, right? Most of them. That's why it's so massive at the center. All right.
That's all from me.
I can afford one more question.
That is from Xing En. If collision happens, what will happen to Earth besides the night sky?
Okay, to be honest, you wouldn't even see night sky at all. Because by the time the two galaxies collide, the solar system will have died out. Because the sun dies like way before, the sun exhausted its fuel, died off way before the collision happens. So the Earth will die off because no sun, right? So all of us will die, even our descendants. Unless we have somehow to make a new star using future supermassive technology. But if the sun dies off with the current technology, the solar system will not survive way before. The solar system will die way before these two galaxies collide. But if our Earth still survive, right? If there are still people out there, I don't think we will have anything happens to us at all because we are not at the center. We are like spectators, you know. We're just looking at the collisions happening. I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I see Jeffrey is really red right now. Thank you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the journey of our home Milky Way, and I would like to pass the stage back to the Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ming Kang, for delivering a very interesting speech about our home, which is not really my home. I mean the home of Earth, the solar system itself, the Milky Way. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, this concludes the prepared speech session, and now I'd like to proceed to the evaluation sessions. So before we start with evaluation session, may I call upon our General Evaluator, Chester. Chester, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening, Ming. Fellow Toastmasters, I believe you had heard enough. That just now also mentioned that feedback is the breakfast for champions. For me, that includes lunch, dinner, and also supper. So why feedback is important? Because it promotes personal and professional growth to hone various skills such as active listening, analytical and critical thinking that allow us to think from different perspectives and doing it differently in order to improve the focus or outcome. So let's start with the project speech evaluation. Please put our hands together for our first evaluator, Nicholas, to provide his feedback to Toastmaster Yiqing.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, I may start now.
Maybe you should spin
Congratulations.
Nicholas.
Huh?
Spin Nicholas.
What?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
We'll
he
do
will
that.
pin you.
All right, done.
Okay. I'll start now. Congratulations, Jane, and well done for completing your project speech. You were like a magnet. You really attracted my attention with your cheerful body language and overall vibe. It just brings warmth to my soul when you managed to bring the relatability with your stories about CNY culture. First of all, you started off your story by imitating of your aunties and amas with their Asian accent. This body language is kind of humorous for me. For example, do you have a boyfriend already or not? Which reminds me of Stephen He videos that Asian culture will focus on maximum emotional damage. Then, during your speech, you managed to tell me more about yourself when you say that you often help your elders by preparing the red packet. Based on your speech, I realized that how much your grandmother or your papa trusts you and how much you have that strong big sister vibes from your body language. Yes, as your main purpose of your project speech is the body language. You did a very great job with your gestures and your vibes. Okay. I realized that this is a virtual meeting, but there were some issues. For example, I realized that your volume were kind of low at some point, and it was quite hard to listen. It may be not your fault, but maybe in the future you can have your mic next to you, like my microphone. Hello, can you hear me better right now? Okay. Other than that, there was some unintentional body movement with your hands. When I say unintentional body movement, it's like sometimes you just move your hand aimlessly. It's kind of distracting, but overall, you managed to do well in your body language. What you may need to change yourself next time is with a better pacing, and it actually might gain a lot of interest among all of our audience. And I wish you the best. Reflect on your Chinese New Year and have incremental growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nicholas. You have a way of giving encouraging feedback. And I noticed you were very observant as you were able to recap what the speakers mentioned earlier, and you were able to describe what you noticed about the actions of the speakers. And also provide examples how she could implement in her speech to improve further. So you have used the sandwich method really well, and I look forward to what your evaluator will provide the feedback later. So next, please put our hands together for our second evaluator, Motivational Strategies Level 4, Wallace Teo, to provide his feedback to our second speaker, Toastmaster Ming.
All right, thank you so much, our Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmaster Chester. Hi, Ming Kang. Wow, today you did a good speech about our home, the story of our home, Milky Way. From the title that I already see, this topic is interesting. Firstly, what I like about you is your stage presence. You're in charge of the whole discussion, the whole presentation is very well. I can see you well planning, and then you have a good set of instruction, as in like I'm in a seminar of discussing about the galaxy. when about my specifically beside that, I'm more personally like your charismatic because you have very chill personality, and also because you're very confident, you're well prepared on your content. And about third thing is about your you're very humorous. You're able to bring a lot of interesting thing to all of us, the audience here, so that we can really relate well with your presentation. For this speech is a very informative, and you did it, your delivery style I can see is flawless, because the slide is all about picture, and we are open our eye to see all the beautiful pictures, and I feel that this is very well. And for the further point of improvement, you may need to be aware of maintaining your eye contact with the pinhole camera. As this is your show, you need to keep on maintaining your body posture and also your eye contact with the cameras, so that as in you are talking with all of them there. And beside that, I would like to challenge you to do a humorous speech, because I think your style is very humorous and also very chill. So with you incorporate all this in your storytelling or your informative speech, I think this is a very good way. And all in all, I like your speech. Firstly, the topic is very interesting. I believe all of us learn a lot and have a lot of information. Secondly, you in charge of the stage very well. You have the whole flow of the presentation is I can say it's flawless. And for your point to improvement is to maintain the eye contact with the pinhole camera. And at the end, lastly, challenge you to do a humorous speech, incorporate more humorous element in your speech. And at the end, congrats that you already achieved your objective. I can see the way you facilitate the session is very well, and you are very professionally answer all the questions. Well done to you. Good job, Ming Kang. And that's all from me. Back to you, our Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmaster Chester.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Wallace. I salute you as you managed to provide a 2 to 3 minutes feedback for a 15 to 20 minutes presentation. In my opinion, it's not an easy task. However, you did it with excellence, and thank you for your valuable, encouraging, and wholesome feedback. Now let us proceed to our third evaluator, who will be evaluating Nicholas' evaluation. Please put your hands together for presentation mastery, level 2, Xing En.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First of all, I would like to congratulate Nicholas for completing his first ever evaluation speech. Now I will go through with the good points that you did during your speech. The first one is you actually use connectors for transitioning. For example, you use, first of all, then. So it is very clear how you send the messages and ideas to the audience. For the second point is you actually commented on the volume control for Yichin, the speaker. You actually demonstrate how to put the mic nearer like this to show that you can actually control your volume during an online meetings to make sure that your voice is audible to everyone. Thirdly, you also mentioned the purpose of statement is achieved throughout the speech. This is a very good point because you can let the audience know that is the speaker achieve the purpose statement of the speech or not. Now I have some suggestions for you to improve in the future. First of all, I noticed that your tone of speech is quite monotonous. So I hope that in your next speech, you can improve on your vocal variety to have more up and downs when you are speaking in front. Next thing is, I hope that you can have more body language and hand gestures so that to show your confidence when you are speaking in an online meeting. And the next challenge for you is, I hope you can show enthusiasm in your next speech. That's all for me, and I hope that I can see your incremental improvement in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Xing En. That was a wonderfully structured evaluation. Again, it is a challenge to provide 2 to 3 minutes feedback to a 2 to 3 minutes evaluation, and you did it with grace. So well done, Toastmaster Xing En. And that is the end of the evaluation session. May I know if there is a voting for best evaluator? Is there any Toastmaster evening?
Yes, there should be. And one more thing, I forgot to call upon the vote for the best speaker as well. So Yijin, is everything ready?
We'll vote for the best project speaker first.
Okay, so
thank you so
let's
much.
vote for the best project speaker first.
Okay.
You able to launch it?
Yeah, I already voted.
Right. I'm doing the best evaluator.
Okay, so while we are tallying the voting for the best speaker, I shall move on to the Grammarian report first. Then after, we shall vote for the best evaluator. Is that okay, Toastmaster the evening?
That's great. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Ming. And now let's put our hands together for Visionary Communication Level 4, Yasmine, to provide her Grammarian report.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I would like to share my screen. All right. So the word of the day, incremental, was used 9 times by Joshua, Ming twice, Chester, Salah, Joshua, Jane twice, one during her speech and another one in the chat box, and Xing En. Quotes, thoughts, words, or sayings that I like. Joshua mentioned, everyone answered you like a school of fish. I find the usage of school of fish very interesting, which means synchronized or at the same time. Facts tell, stories sell by Brian Chan. This is a very catchy phrase. State-of-art telescope by Ming Kang. State-of-art means latest. Bring warmth to my soul by Nicholas, and it means brings happiness. And Xing En used the word monotonous, which means lack of variety. Improper grammatical uses and suggestions for improvement, and etc. At means and etc. means the rest or so forth. So the usage of and etc. is actually redundant. How to use it is, for example, A, B, etc. So you don't need to use the word and in the middle. Much more better. More, the word, 2 words, more better is incorrect. Much more, if you use a uncountable noun, is correct. For example, much more knowledge, that is correct. And you can just use much better. That is also correct. Extremely excited journey. I think that it should be extremely exciting journey. And lastly, don't spoiler. I think it should be no spoiler. That's all from me. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Yasmine. I like your concise report as well as the effort to put into a PowerPoint slide. So thank you and well done, Yasmine. May I know if the poll to vote for the best evaluator is ready?
I can launch it
Okay.
and illustrator type.
Thank you. Let's vote for the best evaluator. While we are tallying the voting for best evaluator, now I would like to invite our R counter persuasive influence level 3 Nazirah to provide her R counter report.
Thank you, General Evaluator Chester. The meeting started with the presiding officer, Joshua, who speaks flawlessly without any false fillers. Then we proceed with the Toastmaster of the evening, Ming, also perfectly speaking tonight without any pause fillers. Then we continued with the speaking session with Zijun as the MC and proceeded with the test speaker, Salah. Both have no pause fillers, and then continue with the open evaluation session by Ming Kang, who has 2 continue with Jun Hong, who has no pause fillers tonight. So does Wallet, but Wallace has 1 your. Then continued with the next Xing En, who has no pause fillers. Next on, we have the final evaluator for open evaluation, which is Joshua, who has no pause fillers tonight. Next on, for the evaluation session, Brian has 1 and Nicholas have 1 Continued with Jane's session. Because she used slang, so I didn't really count her pause fillers. So Jane, you have no pause fillers tonight. Next on for Ming Kang, because he speaks a lot today, so he has 7 So he repeated quite a lot. Next on, Nicholas, for the evaluation session, you have 4 Wallace has 1 and Sheng En, you have no pause fillers. Next on to our grammarian, Yasmine, no pause fillers as well. So that's all from me. Back to you, General Evaluator Chester.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nazirah, for your detailed report and being so attentive in noting down all our speech crutches throughout the meeting. And also congratulations to all the members who did not have any pause fillers. Well done. And finally, please welcome our timekeeper for this evening, Toastmaster Jeffrey, for his timekeeping report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chester. Here is my report as the timekeeper for today's meeting. First of all, we'll start off with Toastmaster Salah. He spent 7 minutes 32 seconds for his speech. And for the open evaluation speakers, Ming Kang took 2 minutes 42 seconds. Toastmaster Jun Hong took 1 minute 43 seconds. Toastmaster Wallace took 2 minutes 17 seconds. Toastmaster Xing En took 1 minute 47 seconds. Toastmaster Joshua took 2 minutes 59 seconds. For the project speeches, the first speaker, Jane, took 6 minutes 27 seconds. For Toastmaster Ming Kang, for his speech, he took 18 minutes 30 seconds, while the Q&A took 3 minutes 50 seconds. And overall, his total session was 22 minutes and 20 seconds. For the open evaluation, Toastmaster Brian took 9 minutes 10 seconds. For the first speaker's evaluation, Toastmaster Nicholas took 2 minutes 22 seconds. For the second speaker's evaluation, Toastmaster Wallace took 3 minutes 6 seconds. And first speaker's evaluation, Toastmaster Xing En took 1 minute 58 seconds. That is all from me. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, our timekeeper, Toastmaster Jeffrey, for keeping an eye on the time. So let's give our hands together for all the technical role players for a job well done. And finally, I shall present my overall observation of the meeting tonight. First off is the agenda. It is very informative and well organized. So let's put our hands together for Vice President Education, Ming, for preparing this beautiful agenda. Thank you. And before the meeting starts, I was greeted warmly by everyone, and most of the role players are very punctual, and good job to Ming for making sure that all the role players are present before the meeting starts. And our SAA Toastmaster Yi Chin, well done for addressing the house rules. Even though there were some technical challenges, you managed to pull through and complete your role as the Sergeant at Arms. And added value to your role, you may remind the role players to rename according to their roles before the meetings begin, so that way new members or the guests can identify them more conveniently in the Zoom setting. So let's give Yi Chin a big round of applause. Our presiding officer opening address by Presentation Mastery Level 1, Joshua. Thank you for the mini icebreaker for the external role players and sharing an interesting take about the meeting theme, evaluate to motivate. So well done, Joshua. As for our Toastmaster of the evening, Effective Coaching Level 1, Ming, you did an excellent job as the Master of Ceremony. You introduced Toastmasters international history as well as the history of your own club, and I get to learn something interesting about Toastmasters Club. And I love the slides that you presented. It was beautifully designed. I love how you added some punchline that made me laugh every now and then while transitioning towards the next session. And one area that I would like to suggest is perhaps you can also provide a brief introduction of the speaker before inviting them to provide their project speech. So this is a good way to edify the speaker as well as giving them a progressive incremental of confidence if you adapt this practice for your future meetings. You sail us through the meeting smoothly, and I really want to applaud you for being an awesome MC tonight. So let's give Toastmaster Ming a big round of applause. Moving on is the open evaluation session led by Toastmaster Jun. So it is definitely an eye-opener for me because I had never attended a meeting with an open evaluation session. And I thought it was really interesting, especially how well it gels with the team, evaluate to motivate. So definitely something that I would love to implement in one of my club meetings in future. That was really well conducted. As for our open evaluation session evaluator, Effective Coaching Level 5, Brian Chan. So thank you. I love how you structured your feedback in 2 different areas, what you observed that is great and what you wish could be better. And I will call you a doctor or surgeon, Brian, because you break down the details of what's lacking in each speaker, then you provide the solution for cure. So you have a good command of language. You also provide each speaker with personal suggestions, feedback, and very encouraging. So let's give Toastmaster Brian a big round of applause. Tonight, I enjoyed the project speeches by 2 aspiring speakers. Let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Yi Chin and Toastmaster Kang. And finally, it's definitely enjoyable for me tonight because the meeting was greatly organized, and I love how your club set up a link tree as a centralized access to all your resources. And I believe a lot of effort was done, and it's something innovative. So keep it up, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve as the general evaluator. I definitely enjoyed myself. Thank you for the hospitality given by the lovely members of Toastmasters Club. So this is Chester signing off as the General Evaluator. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening, Ming.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Chester, for providing us a very comprehensive, I would say, a very long and interesting evaluation, encompassing from the beginning to the end of this General Evaluator for today. So now let's come towards the end of this meeting, which is something we all are looking forward to, the award session. So I'd like to share the slides now. Hello, is everyone able to see the screen right now?
Not yet.
Hello?
Not yet.
TME Yong has started screen sharing.
Not yet. Oh.
Okay, now can
Okay,
see.
got it.
Okay.
Good. Okay, that's good. So, okay, screen sharing. Okay. Forgive me for the bit of lagging computer. I think my computer needs some help. Oh dear. Okay, so now we shall officially start the award ceremony. So we shall start with the first one, which is our best open evaluation session. Oh goodness, what happened to my computer? Oh my.
I could share it if
I
you
didn't
want.
expect this coming.
I could share on behalf of
Good.
You want to do
I'm not sure how you can share it. No, I used a different file. Shit.
It's okay. I think I've
Oh
shared the
dear.
version.
I don't really like the look of this.
Yeah, I will just share it for you.
Oh, you edited a version now. Do you know who are the winners?
Because I'm the co-host. Okay.
Okay.
You guys see my share screen?
I'm still viewing you main
Okay.
screen.
Because okay.
I think I just end now.
All right,
Okay.
I'm sharing right now.
Sorry about that. I'm very sorry about this. I'm not expecting this
on
to
your
happen.
count and on your command. Okay. On your command, you make.
Okay, now, so let's go to the open evaluation session. So the winner for this who's the winner of this open evaluation session? The winner goes to no other Joshua.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. So Joshua has some photo session, perhaps.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let me give a minute. Okay, 1 minute. All right. Okay, good.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you. Now we are going to the project speaker section, the best project speaker. So who would like to guess who's the winner?
Can I guess?
We guess someone. Come on. Yichin and Ming Kang, just come down a little.
All of us
I
are
know you guys know the answer.
Maybe both.
So
Tired.
So, just don't want to guess. Then in case, I just reveal the result lah. Okay, the best project speaker is Ming Kang, no other than Ming Kang. Congratulations, Ming Kang. I don't know how to take photo of yourself.
Thank you. I'll take myself. 3, 2, 1.
Ming Kang gives cert to Ming Kang.
Okay, done.
Lastly, the best evaluator. The award goes to Brian Chan. Is Brian here from Extol Toastmaster Club?
From Cyberstar.
Brian?
From Cyberstar
Yes.
Wrong crowd,
You're
wrong
from
crowd.
Cyberstar, you tell me Extol.
Extol is Chester.
All right, guys. 3,
Oh,
2,
sorry.
1.
Master Giant.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you so
Congratulations.
much. Next, we will go to the general evaluation appreciation. Actually, I did prepare my slide to include all the external players, but I will share the survey ticket to all the external players. Expect Brian, Wallace, Yasmine, and Nazirah. I will WhatsApp to you personally. Sorry about that. My computer just giving me a headache. So now we go to the general evaluator appreciation. Chester would like to come forward to have a photo, please. Next slide, please, Ming Kang.
Okay.
Thank you so much for helping us out to make our meetings be from making incremental change from good to better to the best. Thank you so much, Chester.
3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry for mixing up the home club thing. Chester and Brian, sorry for mixing up. Before we're going to end this meeting, I'd like to call upon the presiding officer, Joshua, to make a closing speech. Thank you guys for coming nonetheless.
Thank you, Meng, for hosting today's meeting. Once again, well done to all of our role players, speakers, and evaluators. Continue to be motivated by each other. After all, our theme for tonight's meeting is evaluate to motivate. So tonight's teachings and feedbacks that we receive from our evaluators and perhaps what we have learned from the speakers, they could be used as the big bang for tomorrow's success. And that is all from me. I shall now open the floor for any announcement from the members.
How about external role player?
Thank you to the external role players as well for helping in our club.
And any announcement from us?
Yes, if the external players have any announcement you would like to share, you can also share.
Yes, I do have something to share. So as you all know, I'm also from another club which is called Master Jaya Toastmasters Club. So for coming Thursday, we will have our club meeting that will held in Belakong. And my club is residing in Taman Taming Jaya, which is right opposite the MICE, if you have been there before. So I will encourage every single one of you, if you would like to pay a visit to Master Jaya Toastmasters Club, please feel free to pay a visit to our club by just contacting to Ming. I will send him the details, everything to him, and he will be blasting you all, hopefully into your chat group or all kinds of platforms available from Toastmasters Club. And I wish that all of you will be able to come for our coming Thursday's meeting, because we have two amazing speakers that will be presenting, and we have several evaluators that will be there as well. And I hope that you all could just take this opportunity to visit the community club, where it's a little different when it comes to a student club or a university club. Try to give yourself the opportunity to see people from all walks of life, and give yourself the chance. Who knows, in the future, you may be able to meet your future bosses or even the industry that you would like to be in the future. This is something that I hope that every younger ones, as well as the future generations, will be able to explore themselves, meeting all these business people, as well as people from different industry, and explore yourself in all this kind of field,
And who knows, you will be able to one day utilize it and find the direction of your own. And on coming Thursday, it will be 7:45 p.m. in Master Jaya Toastmasters Club. And I will see you guys there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. Is the meeting hybrid or physical or online?
Unfortunately, it's only physical. We don't do it hybrid. So
Okay.
if you all would need to have a transportation, I would strongly suggest you all to carpool. Or if you all will require some of our members to fetch you guys, please feel free to inform us as well. I would inform them to become the Grab driver free for one day. Thank you so much. Pass back to you.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Is there any more announcements that the external players would like to announce?
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. This Sunday, 3 p.m. Our Passion ESG Integration Toastmaster Club will have a joint meeting with Nazirah Toastmaster Club. So feel free to join us. Yeah, this Sunday, 3 p.m.
Sure, thank you. You can also send us the invitation link as well. Then we can share it in our club.
Yeah, this one is a hybrid. This one I think is the virtual meeting. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think the announcement is just that. And
Can I give a quick announcement on our club thing?
Sure.
Yeah, I've been working on a new website for our club, Toastmasters, and I'd like to show you. All right. So this is a new website I've been building. It's interactive. It's dynamically updated. So first page, and I hope like all members will be utilizing this new website. First page will have what's happening at our Facebook page, and also some inquiries for guests to try to fill in. Just first page is mainly for the guests, non-Toastmaster, right? And also the interesting thing is what's the next events we're gonna have, and it's all dynamically updated. So not only guests, also external players can check it out, right? The future meetings next week, 27th of February. Also the latest agenda for the next meeting, in this case, going to be today's meeting. So the registration form and also the things that we do, which is you all have typical Toastmaster stuff. Also membership sign up form for the VPM, yeah, easy to do it. And the general feedback form for everyone. You guys can just go and click the general feedback form and give us some feedback. So to the members tab is all about members, right? So the first thing will be club announcement that we used to do WhatsApp, but I kind of relate to this. So we do both ways, WhatsApp and this. And a quick glance to available sponsorships for the members to check it out. And what's happening in District 51, a huge shout out to District 51 and Toastmasters International. So we feature them in our website. Again, members calendar and also feedback. Now comes the resource, which is very useful, will be all the slides that you need in the Toastmaster meeting and the script that you like to refer. And the Grammarian for each role we have, I've put in the report and also a demo for this. So you can learn from the video. Timers, including the resources like timer background, and example speeches and evaluation and table topics. So to the EXCO page, which I will make it confidential, is all the responses that we will get from members and guests. And also the plannings that we will have. So I also hope the EXCOs will utilize this as well to remind you from not forgetting about anything. So that's about the new website. I will make it live in the next couple of days. Thank you.
Thank you, Ming Kang. I must admit that their website looks very cool and useful to our members, as well as those who are interested to know more about UMTMC. One last announcement to those in Toastmasters Club, and also for those not in Toastmasters Club, remember to renew your membership for our next term, which is April to September. And I think that's it. With that, I shall call this meeting adjourned.
Bye-bye. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you next week. Right.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you,
Please come
everyone.
next week.
No one
Bye.
has to be general evaluator. Yeah.